Remember how I told you that the prophecies are that the false prophets will be exposed in the end times, and that in the end times they will burn in the fire with the Antichrist and with all of the Antichrist minions. So here we are facing the fact that Deepak Chopra was caught in Jeffrey Epstein emails appearing that he was having a good time until 1 o'clock and having these discussions with the women that were being trafficked at Jeffrey Epstein's network. I want to say now that I feel it's safe to come out and talk about this a little bit. I've tried to let you guys know that you have to be very, very careful with these false prophets, because it's very easy for them to steal sacred information and language and repeat the language without truly being awakened souls. It's easy for some of them, especially. They're very masterful, and they can just repeat words and sound like they're such great gurus when in fact they are not truly enlightened. A truly enlightened being would never engage in the kinds of things that Deepak Chopra has engaged in. Now, I'm not referring to just what was exposed in Jeffrey Epstein's emails, because it really doesn't give a whole lot of evidence, but I can say that number one, I have a friend, a very good friend, who was on Gaia TV, and she has had personal experience with Deepak Chopra and watched and witnessed him hitting on girls and doing things. He's also been accused of sexual harassment to two of his staff members in the 90s. And I do believe that one of the people that he had an affair with was a maid in his home while his wife was there. This is information I got directly from somebody who was at his house and who had gone to some parties with him. And I really feel so bad for the spiritual community and the seekers of truth and enlightenment, because unfortunately, false prophets like this are rampant. They're everywhere. And one of the first signs that you can notice, especially with male fake teachers, is the moment that they start to be distorted in their sexuality. That is the first sign that they are not a truly enlightened soul. An enlightened being who truly, truly is enlightened does not behave like that. There's no way that they would sacrifice or forego their soul, because they know they've been shown things in the spirit world, and they would never, ever, ever deviate from that. That is not the behaviors or the actions of a truly enlightened being. I remote viewed the scenario after watching these files come out with Epstein, and I talked to my spirit guides, and they did confirm that Deepak Chopra is not a truly fully initiated being. He has not truly gone through enlightenment. He's very masterful at copying the language and presenting himself in that light, but that is not who he is underneath the skin or behind the scenes in the spirit world. So I'm giving confirmation that the things that you're seeing unfolding in the emails are absolutely telling you what's really, really under his skin and who he really is in spirit. The spirit, you can't fake alignment. You can try, and he's done a very good job, and he's fooled lots and lots of people. I had foresight and foreknowledge about him many years ago, and as a matter of fact, I just had this conversation with a girl who lives in my town about Deepak Chopra almost 2 weeks ago. Before these Epstein files came out, I had this discussion, and I told her the things that I'm telling you now, that he has been a sexual deviant, and sexual deviancy is one of the first ways that the Omnicrons and the Draconians and some of the fallen angelics who pose as light in the spiritual community will try to deviate from the true Emerald Order covenant. So if you are following any guru and they are being sexually deviant, and that means going outside of their marriage, or it means sexually harassing people, or going into these Babylonian kind of systems, that is not somebody who is truly, truly enlightened. It is a false prophet. It is a poser. It is somebody who uses the name of the divine and the sacred teachings that this world desperately needs and perverts them by doing harm to others and by deviating from the Emerald Order covenant. And so Again, I have had knowledge about Deepak Chopra for many years. It's not safe for me to come out and say these kind of things in general because I can get sued. That's why I'm not interested in being in a courtroom with lots of different people, over things that I say when I'm trying to help humanity. That's not fair to me. I don't have the kind of support that I would need to battle in courtrooms with these people all the time. It's up to the individual soul to really, really feel into things. And unfortunately, people like Deepak Chopra, it's so easy for them to just copy language. We are being infiltrated now with masses of false light beings who pretend that they're in the light and pretend to teach on things when they're just copying from a truly ascended being, unfortunately. And you're going to see more and more and more of this as the internet has taken fire with this kind of information. It is sacred and it is intended for people, but you do have to be so careful with who you're following. The spirit guides also tell me that this is the reason why divine feminines are being called forth to lead the way in spirituality now, crawling our way out of the dirt that they buried us in to teach the true ways, because the feminines don't generally tend to get as compromised as the masculines do when it comes to these kind of things. Unfortunately, this is a very common trait for very weak individuals who do not have what it takes to climb Jacob's ladder into the enlightened path. And yet they want the glory and the money and things like that. It's also important to understand that when you're watching gurus like somebody like Deepak Chopra that's on the Oprah Winfrey Show and really put out there and put in front of everybody, there is a reason why, and it doesn't have to do with divine alignment. It has to do with being compromised. They have to sell a piece of their soul in order to get pushed out into these draconian networks. The control grid of the matrix is run by demons, and the only way they're going to let you into the big club is if you sell your soul somewhere along the way. That's not going to happen from a truly enlightened soul. That's why you're seeing a lot of people who don't get a lot of followers or things like that, but they're the ones who are truly in the light, and they're telling you the truth, and they're risking everything, and they're not getting supported financially, and they're not getting the kind of support from the community that they should be getting. Instead, everybody wants to seem to plug their circuits into these fakes just because Oprah put them on TV or whatever. This really has to stop for humanity. It's a two-part system where the frauds are going to fall into the fire, but unfortunately the people who continue to fall for false prophets, they have some accountability in this too. And again, it's a very tragic thing, because taking the sacred teachings that are so important and so needed in this world and using them for your own personal glory while you abuse or sexually deviate in your life, or deviate in other ways too. Sexuality is only one way that they deviate. This doesn't happen with the truly enlightened souls. And so for all of you who are disappointed, please understand that these type of beings are put there also on purpose. They give you that little taste of light by stealing it from the truly illuminated. And it doesn't mean that the teachings aren't true. They're true. And it doesn't mean that there aren't truly illuminated souls here who do not deviate from those kinds of things. There are truly enlightened souls here who are doing the work. They're just not being pushed out in the public the way that the false ones are, because they aren't willing to be compromised. And it's so important that you guys start to understand that and support the ones who are truly doing the work without getting this kind of, glamorous glory that these false prophets got, because they got pushed out there because they sold their soul. That's the only reason why. The network is controlled by draconians. The only way you're getting pushed out there in public arena like that is if you sold out. That's the way it works, and it's always going to work that way until we flip the script. So please don't give up on your seeking for truth, and understand that there are a lot of divine feminines out there teaching that aren't compromised like that. Pay attention. Namaste.